All right, welcome back to the Road Home from Wrestling interview. My name's Andy. I'm coming to you live to tape it tonight. Our guest is the Deathmatch Samurai. It's Akira. How you doing, Akira?
I am alive. I am well. How about you, man?
I'm doing great. It's a Monday night that we're recording this. There's all kinds of crazy shit going on in the world of wrestling, and we're going to ignore all of that and talk about the stuff that really matters. But first of all, I want to tell folks, who are you and what part of the country are you based in?
I am Akira. I am the exotic weapon, El Arma Exotica, Deathmatch Samurai, whatever you want to call me, reject. I'm based in Louisville, Kentucky, and I am at the end of the year moving to New Jersey.
No kidding. Now, that's interesting because that's definitely something I had on my list of stuff to talk to you about. I guess we'll just get into this question right now. Why is New Jersey the deathmatch capital of the world?
I wouldn't even say it's the deathmatch capital. I'd say it's the pro wrestling capital of the world right now. We've got GCW, CCW, all these promotions that are just centered in one area, and it's all kinds of wrestling. We're going there. I'm going there specifically because my significant other, is going to go train some more with certain individuals there. Now, this loser named Charlie Cruel. I think you might know her.
I do. She's appeared on this show before.
She's very loud. She likes to throw knives at people. And me specifically. Half the scars on my body are from her. But that's basically what we're gonna do. And I think it's become such a hotbed because you've already had promotions like ECW that were, like mainstays there. And when they died, what happens? You just replace it. That's when you had your ROHs, CZWs, and just like that. The entire East Coast is like booming right now. So that's kind of what we're trying to get into. The Midwest really hasn't really been treating me the best, and the East Coast has basically been saying like, "Hey, come over here, please bring you, Charlie, come here." And I'm like, "All right, man, gonna do that. Let's go where the opportunities are at."
I like it, and I mean, not to go into a New Jersey wrestling history thing, but, years ago there was a promotion called All Jersey Pro, I believe it was what it was called, or Jersey All Pro or something like that. And that was kind of like the promotion that like a lot of these other promotions have sprung out of. And CZW's been around forever, like you said, and now GCW's there. You got H2O, all these different places. And speaking of H2O, I know it's not going to be at that promotion, but one of the main dudes at H2O is Matt Tremont. I like to call him the Hulk Hogan of deathmatch wrestling, and you get to wrestle Matt Tremont. Where is this going to happen, and how did this all come about?
Okay, first off, the Hulk Hogan of deathmatch wrestling is probably the most accurate thing because when his entrance comes out, you have to. It's one of those things you have to experience because everybody just gets into it. It's like watching a Nick Gage entrance; everybody gets into it. But that's happening at On Point Wrestling, New Jersey, at the H2O Center on January 18th. Their 7th anniversary, my 2nd anniversary in pro wrestling.
That's just in a couple days. So
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so you got to be excited about this first of all, because I mean, he's a legend. Even though he's still wrestling, he's still an active wrestler and booker and all that stuff. But he's a legendary figure in wrestling, period. Let alone the deathmatch world. It's interesting to me, that you get to experience this and go have a match with him kind of in the twilight of his career. And I know he realizes that. And this is kind of thing where he's going along, maybe putting some younger guys over. What do you think? Is that kind of what he's doing here?
No, this is honestly, I wouldn't even say it's the old versus the new. It's the current guard versus the up and coming guard. Matt Tremont, he's like, this dude is about to go to Japan. He is a bona fide maniac. He puts his heart into it. He is a current warrior who is still going strong. He's on the twilight of his years. He's the bulldozer. He's got like another 20, 30, maybe 40 years. Who knows? The man lives and breathes what he's doing. The man lives and breathes what he's doing. We all have times where we might need to take some time off or relax a little bit. But I saw some of his stuff at the NGI this year, and he's doing like suicide dives. He's doing all this other crazy kinds of stuff. Matt Tremont is an animal. And it's a giant opportunity for me, not just to be like, okay, I'm wrestling this legend. It's an opportunity for me to be on the level of a Matt Tremont, maybe get on that level of a Nick Gage someday. Who knows? It's not going to be an easy fight. I know he's going to come into it swinging, and I'm going to come back at him swinging. 2019 was a year of preparation for this fight with Matt Tremont. I've been all over east to west, been to Mexico. I've been stitched up, cut up. I've had technical death match, brutal, just straight up Memphis brawling. It's all building up to this. And the question is now, people, because I did a promo recently, people are questioning, can Akira German suplex Matt Tremont? And can I get that victory? That's the story. That's my game plan. And I called my shot. So he knows it's coming.
Okay. So tell me about this German suplex. The first time I ever met you, you just looked at me and you said hi, and then you showed me a picture of yourself on your phone doing a German suplex. And I was like, oh, okay. I mean, that's a pretty awesome German suplex. I mean, where does this all come from, and how did you develop that?
I've always been flexible. It didn't develop like that. We were watching wrestling. We saw a really terrible German suplex, and I said, "No, this is what it looks like." And you said, "Yeah, that is what it should look like." Someone yeeting them and dropping them on their head willy nilly. Like that was when I was sitting next to ATM, and we both cringed. I turned away. I'm not gonna say who did it. We all know who did it, but but I honestly developed it kind of on a whim because I've always been really flexible from being a swimmer. So I have really flexible muscle fibers in my body. That's where I get a lot of my strength from. And when people are shocked how strong I am, I'm like, dude, that's like 13 years of swimming. It all adds up. But I honestly decided one day, hey, I'm going to do a German suplex. Yeah, I'm going to do that. And then I did it. People were like, that was awesome. And I'm like, really? They're like, yeah, dude. Okay, cool. And then just like a couple months later, when you have Shane Mercer going, that's going to be what you're going to beat people with. And then that's what I've been doing, man. It's been the German suplex and a lion tamer now. So it's one of
Nice.
the two.
Okay, and you can I think I saw a GIF today of you kind of turning the German suplex into the lion tamer, which is pretty cool.
That was the Tiger Driver I did, but I've been thinking about a way to do that. So it's that's actually going to be coming. You're going to get a gift of that eventually. I was going to figure out how to do it.
Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself, but
You're
well,
stealing my prizes, dude. Come on.
well, I'll tell you what, that is a very interesting thing you just said a minute ago. I have never heard a wrestler say, "Oh yeah, I was into swimming and then I got into pro wrestling." How do those two things compare, and are they similar in a way?
Well, I was a college level swimmer, but I mean, I grew up watching wrestling. It's just I fell out of love with it like in junior high and elementary and high school because I became focused more on metal and playing guitar and things like that. But then I went to college and I became friends with a couple of well, I guess you would say rejects, ironically, of the entire school. And I don't know, I started watching. My friend said, "Hey, come over, watch wrestling." And we sat there and I watched. I think it was NXT, and I saw Shinsuke Nakamura and Sami Zayn, and I just watched it. And then I was like, "All right, I'm back into this." And then it just slowly developed. Graduated. Didn't know what I was doing with my life. I was unhappy. And then I went and watched a live show where it was AJ Styles. It was just on this random SmackDown show on what was it? Just a house show. Yeah, it was like in Fort Wayne. And I just saw him and I was like, I can do that. I can do something like that. And I that's when I started eating professional wrestling, so like as much as I could. Then saw guys like Katsuyori Shibata.
Yeah, Shibata is one of the best there is, no doubt about it.
I saw guys like Minoru Suzuki, and I decided Uh, that's what I want to do. And it wasn't even like a, oh, these are other Asian wrestlers. Oh, I like this. I just, something felt right. And then when I started training, I raised like the $800 or whatever it was, and I started training behind my parents' back. And then I kind of just, when they found out, they like kind of gave me the cold shoulder. They still kind of do. They asked me whether this is going to pay off, whether it's worth it. There's really never really been a whole lot of like a financial or emotional support in that regard, but that's kind of how it happened.
Okay. Well, how does swimming, fit into that as far as like the physicality of wrestling requires a lot of wind and stuff like that? Is your swimming training help you with that?
Swimming training, think about it this way. I need to start jumping in the pool again just because swimming works every muscle fiber in your body. It works your cardio better than any kind of sport could. And you really get like resistance training. That's what Daniel Bryan focuses a lot on. It's really like athletic muscle. So I work a lot of weights now, and I was working a lot of weights when I was swimming. But it all works into being a well stretched. Like I've never had an injury that was my fault in wrestling. I've always been well stretched. It's like Rob Van Dam. Rob Van Dam always stretches. Like he's still doing all this crap he's doing right now. John Claude Van Damme, all the Van Dams, they stretch and like they can still do crazy things. So swimming just translated it where my body's become more durable, and it really helped me strength wise because I'm throwing the guys around that are like 240, 250, and people see my body type. But like, really? And yeah,
So, what's your dog's name?
I don't.
So Akira has a young dog, and his young dog is a prick, is what he said before we start recording. What's your dog's name, Akira?
My dog's name is Coda, and whenever you close the door, as my lovely girlfriend did, he howled and scrapes at the door. That whining you were hearing was not the whine of a dying animal. That was the whine of my dog.
Have you ever tried to German suplex your dog?
No, I speared him though.
My
His mom,
sister
his
hits her
mom.
dog with the choke slam. So
Oh, I do the choke breaker sometimes. I do, but he's my girlfriend will be there holding him, and I'll just be like, "Hey, hold him, spear," and he just looks at me, and you know what? I kind of get what's coming.
Hey, dogs rule. They're awesome, and your dog's adorable. That's the best. But
he
well,
is.
okay.
He's getting merchandise soon. That's the
Oh,
sad.
okay. Wow. Jeez. It's like that, huh? Well, speaking of merchandise, I mean, like, have you made a decision yet on where your merchandise is going to go? I know you've been kind of trying to figure out what you're going to do with that.
Well, it's weird because pro wrestling tees is they undid their social media limit thing. So a lot of wrestling fans like they look at pro wrestling tees for their t-shirts. That's the truth. But I've been looking at things like Teespring where they literally have so many different options of different merchandise that you can get. I mean, not all of it looks good, but it's just for it being free, like basically free money. You can't really complain. So I've been thinking about doing both. Um, I might have some exclusives on certain websites, things like that. I've I'm thinking about just utilizing both. That's the marketing plan.
Yeah, we use Teespring for our t-shirts. It's kind of hard to argue with free. That's one of the deals is why is
Free.
we're on there. I mean, who wants to lug around all these shirts everywhere, especially when, I mean, we're just some podcast and like one person every three shows might be like, "Hey, you got any shirts?" So it's just kind of one of those things I got tired of doing that, plus putting out the hundreds of dollars to get an order and all that crap. So, it's a good deal, but that is a pretty cool thing. I don't know if you're a wrestler out there that recently Pro Wrestling Tees decided to drop their requirement for 10,000 followers across your social media platforms. And they did not drop that for podcasts, however. So That's
Yeah,
fucking bullshit. I'm not happy about that, but
that's
that's okay.
I
Well, I tried to get on there at one point, and we were just short of the amount of whatever social media people we need to have, and they're like, "Oh, well, you could just pay us $75 and we'll forget
yeah,
all about that." And I was like, "Nah, I'm cool.
that,
I'll go with
that,
the free one."
I'll go with the freebies. I've actually
That's
sold stuff. It's weird. Someone bought socks and they tagged me on Twitter and they were saying, "Yeah, man, I'm proud to wear his face on my feet." And I was like, "Oh,
that is bizarre. I don't know what to make of that. Jeez.
I was like, dude, respect. You put money in my pocket, but damn, that's weird."
I mean, whatever. If people wanted to, buy
Hey,
socks of my face, I'd be all about it.
I had a pigeon spike that was in my ear after a match, and I pulled it out and I looked at the crowd and I said, $30, $30. It was the most carny thing I've ever done in my life, and someone bought it immediately. I
Nice.
made it. I made $30, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. I love wrestling.
Are deathmatch wrestling fans different than other wrestling fans?
Yes, deathmatch wrestling fans. They're generally generally just normal wrestling fans, but they're 1,000 times more devout. Like they will travel hours to come and see you. I had a guy at a show in God, what was it? World's Finest Wrestling. It was in Connersville, Indiana. They drove like 4 hours to come see me at this place, and it's in the middle of nowhere, like south of Indy. And they're like, "Hey, man, you got T-shirts?" And they bought one of my T-shirts, like for each person that was there. And I was like, "Wow, it's weird. Like you got guys that are that dedicated. They follow you, they respond to you, and it's not like the WWE fans. You got like the stands or whatever, the people that are like devoted to this character, and they're like that's all they do. If they hate on this character, they shit on you. Deathmatch fans are like they're like that, but they're just people, man. They're not crazy. Like you get people like Jim Cornette that want to paint him as like bloodthirsty assholes. Like, nah, dude, they just respect it. They respect all kinds of wrestling. Like the fact that I can actually wrestle, and they see it in the deathmatch wrestling. They notice that and they go, "Dude, you're awesome. You're so different. And it's really refreshing because you have a lot of fans that like will come in there to shit on you, then like the deathmatch fans will like eat them alive. It's like having your own fucking army. It's crazy.
Yeah, they're extremely loyal, and they're kind of. I know this is, gosh, I don't know if I should make this comparison, but I went to a concert a few times when I was younger, and you probably hate this band because you're into metal and stuff, but there's this band called Fish, right? And their fans are fucking insane. I mean, their fans are like Grateful Dead type fans, and I mean, it's
Dude.
crazy. And so, if you've never been to a Fish show, just go for the spectacle of it, and that's kind of how deathmatch wrestling fans are. They're kind of like the hippies of pro wrestling. And what I mean is that they're like they're there to have fun. They're there to kind of support everybody. And if you show up, they might be cooking and give you food. They may, I mean, these guys like tailgate and all kinds of shit, right?
They buy beer, they buy your merch no matter what. They send you money. It's crazy. And like I fell in love with these kinds of fans because after you get some of the fans that just like are there to shit on you. And it's like, dude, it's such a different world. It's like going to Mexico. When you're in Mexico and you give them your heart and your soul, these people are like crying. They want to just take a picture with you. They feel honored. You're on the ground, like on the floor. They come over there to pick you up and ask, "Oh, Akira, get in the ring. Are you okay? You okay?" And you're like, "Yeah, dude, I'm awesome. This is amazing." They throw money in the ring if your match is good. Like, come on. It's deathmatch fans are the luchador fans, but in America. Like they are the best, and they've done nothing but help my career. They're always retweeting stuff, messaging me. It's given me a fresh respect, not just for deathmatch wrestling, but for just wrestling fans in general, man. It's great.
Well, okay, so you're a young guy. You're out there. Your parents maybe don't like what you're doing. You're
Well, the thing
looking.
have not seen me do deathmatch wrestling.
Well, my point is that you're looking for support. I mean, it's hard to do anything in life with no support, let alone what you're doing. So, you
Seeing
know,
the girl I'm dating, what's support?
well, my point is that having these fans that have your back is just something you can always kind of like rely on. You can always be when you have a bad day. You might have that message in your phone. You might have that Cash App that somebody sent you or something like that. I mean, who knows?
It's just it's crazy like that, man. Like, and I've developed like a love for these people, and yeah, like it's like Nick Gage when he goes and he tells people, "I fucking love these people," and he means it. And I understand why he means it because these fans would live and die for you. Like I was at a show where well, there's two shows like that where the fans like turned on the local guys and they were saying like that Akira's gonna kill you, and I'm like, dude, this is like bizarre. I've never had that before. But now people are really like getting behind me and believing me. And I was at a show once where I was told, hey, like you're probably gonna get booed, and I'm like, really? Like, yeah, dude, I'm like hometown thing. It's like, okay, cool. That was like that in Mexico. Like they were saying, you're probably gonna get booed. If you get booed, just roll with it. You get out there and I'm getting like equally amounts of cheers, or at least some cheers to the hometown people, and like they're looking at me, and I'm like, dude, I don't know, just rolling with it.
Well, you are kind of a different guy than what you usually see in a deathmatch show. There's a stigma attached to deathmatch wrestling, which is earned in some respects and complete bullshit in other respects. And that is that people that are unathletic do death matches. And you are an athletic guy who does death matches now. And how has that kind of helped you develop as a wrestler? And what have you learned from deathmatch wrestling that's helped you with your regular wrestling?
I think what I've learned most from doing deathmatch wrestling is it's like I know when to not take shit in the ring, and it's being able to convey that to people. Like I had that match with John Wayne Murdoch, and he's hit me in the head with a goddamn door, and it's like the door's being shredded just from hitting my dome, and I'm standing up, and I'm literally just headbutting the thing, and the crowd's going, "Oh my god, this dude's nuts." I've had a couple messages going like, "Dude, you're a wild man. You're crazy." Uh, it's when it first happened, like I was afraid to bleed. That's the ironic thing. But when I was given that opportunity in Mexico, that's when I had my first death match, and it was basically like, dude, I'm here. I'm in Mexico. I'm gonna get paid for this, and you got like 300, 400 screaming fans. Let's do it. Let's go for it. Fuck it. And like once it happened, once you get like when you get blood in your eyes, like you get like this gray vision, and it's some kind of like animalistic thing, man. Like once like the blood starts flowing, like it's just like another part of me just snaps. I start swinging, and people start believing in me. Like when I'm starting to like German suplex and throw people, and people really weren't expecting. They're like, "Oh, dude, this guy's like nuts." And it like some people like they do that fighting spirit thing, right? Like because everybody wants to be like strong style or whatever. Like it really wakes up something in you like that where you're really feeling it, and you're not just saying it, you're not just pretending it. You're legitimately having because you're legitimately bleeding out of your fucking head, and it's just like this primal thing that you just say, all right, I'm here to fucking fight. Let's do this. Like when John Wayne Murdoch and I are throwing headbutts at each other and we're not, our hands are down. It's our skulls hitting each other. You're just in the zone. I don't even feel anything when I like anymore in the ring because I can just turn it on. That's the best part about deathmatch wrestling. I got that part of my character that I can just turn on.
That's pretty awesome, man. I got a big smile on my face listening to you talk about that because I know you're smiling and I know that, what you're telling me is coming from, your heart. I think that we can all relate to blood. We've all seen someone bleed unexpectedly in regular life. It's happened to everybody. If it hasn't, then I don't know what life you're living, but you never played in the yard when you were a kid, I guess. But and I don't know how many times I've heard someone go, "You're bleeding." You know, just in normal life, it's happened to me on accident or something like that. Bump my head on something, might start bleeding, and it's a visceral reaction. It's a primal, like you said, a visceral reaction to the people watching, the people actually bleeding, and this fight that is supposedly fake becomes more real than any regular wrestling match can be. I think that blood is basically, to me, it's like a German suplex. It's like anything else. It's a tool that's in the toolbox, and when it's
Mhm.
used properly, I mean, you can build a fucking house with it. That's kind of the whole idea. What so you said you were afraid to bleed. Can you kind of tell me a little bit how you overcame that? I mean, you talked about it a little bit, but like, was this a hard way type thing, or were you kind of doing it yourself? I mean, what are we talking about here?
So I was sitting there, right out there in this four-way. We're all fighting, and I'm expecting to bleed. And the first thing that hits me was a giant bundle in my back, and it's a bundle of light tubes, and it's the most jarring thing. You're not prepared for it. I wasn't prepared for it. It hit me like a shockwave, and then I was dragged to the middle of the ring. I'm fighting back. I'm fighting back. The guy grabs a tube, and he starts stabbing me in the head with it. And I say, "Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you." And the and I'm saying, "Do it." I'm yelling like, "Do it, motherfucker, do it!" In the head, because I'm in the zone now. Like I'm there. I'm ready for it. And literally, I had a light tube like stab into my head, and the piece broke. So I had a piece of tube still stuck in my head, and I pulled it out, and I started gushing everywhere. And I get up and I start swinging on this dude, and like he was smiling the whole time. He was like, "You never bleed before," and his name's Sick Boy, and he gives me shit for it now. So he's like, "Oh, Mister, I've never done lucha extrema. You're like crazy, motherfucker." And I'm like, "You did this?" He's like, "I know I did it, but you crazy." "Oh, I've never done this before. You act like you wrestle like you've done it for years." And I'm like, "Sorry." But yeah, like
Well,
I accepted it. It's that thing of like when a samurai commits and says, "All right, I'm gonna, harakiri, I'm gonna kill myself," and they do it. It's kind of like that. I'm not obviously cutting my own like guts out and anything like that, but it's like I said, "All right, let's do this," and I told him, "Stab me," and he stabbed me, and I bled everywhere. I feel like a stuck pig. And then the finish was I took a Spanish fly from the top where the ropes were really hard because there was barbed wire, and I did not want to step in the barbed wire on this Spanish fly. And I took a Spanish fly, landed on the top of my shoulders, on my neck, through a pentagram of light tubes, and that was the end of the match. And I told myself, "All right, I'm done. We've been out here for like 20 minutes. I'm done. I'm done." I rolled to the side, and whatever happened after that happened. It's just one of those things of where like you have that fear, and then if you have that mental switch where you can just say fuck it, I'm gonna do it, and then you do it. And now like I literally spit blood in people's faces in my match, and people are like horrified, and I'm like, hey man, Asians gotta spit mist, man.
I mean, yeah, and if you're gonna go all natural with the mist, I mean, it works even better, so I hear. So that's pretty great. Well, man, okay, so I'm sitting here listening to you talking about this, and you clearly love this, and I don't mean like you like it. It's something that's cool that you do.
I love
No,
mist.
you're fine. You've kind of found what you wanted to do. Now, tell me, you've talked about this a little bit, but when you first got into wrestling, you said it was kind of because you liked Japanese style wrestling and things like that. And now you found this death match type of thing. What was like the first time that you thought to yourself, maybe I'll do a death match? And how did your kind of I mean, how did you overcome that as something that like and get on a plane or a bus or whatever to go to Mexico to do this?
I dude, it was like a chain of events that happened. I got in a vehicle with Aiden Blackheart, Shane Mercer, Alex Colon, and Nate Webb, and we all were going to Jersey, where Shane was having his debut at GCW, and Alex was going to wrestle Jun Kasai. And I knew who Jun Kasai was because I'd seen him on like DDT and things like that. Because he's not, a lot of guys like it's like Masada. He's not just a deathmatch guy. He can really wrestle, and he can wrestle really good. Jun Kasai is another one. Takeda is another one. And we got there, and I'm just watching the show. I'd never seen a deathmatch live. This was in like February of 2019, so it really wasn't like far. And I just sat there and I'm watching the show, and it's a variety of wrestling. That's why I love GCW. It's a variety of wrestling. There's stuff for everybody. And then we got to the deathmatch stuff. I missed Schlack and Nick Gage. Schlack, if you're listening, I'm sorry. I love you. I didn't watch that match. I was too busy talking to Shane. But then I saw Cologne and Kasai, and I got it. It wasn't just because I used to think like, what if it's just like guys just beating the shit out of each other with shit? Like, that's the standard thought. But I was like, you know what? It's cool. People can like that. It's good for them. Then I watched them do it. When you see the best, like the most athletic dudes, like Alex Cologne, athletic as hell. Jun Kasai, athletic as hell. And they went out there and they wrestled, but the wrestling was laced with the weapons, and it made sense. And I called it like beautiful violence because there was legitimately my jaw was dropping. I was just engaged by what they were doing, and that's why I like Shibata and Suzuki, because your jaw just drops with what they're doing when they're beating the shit out of the people. You're just like, oh my god, they're doing that to people. They're doing that to each other. Like Shibata's headbutting people. What the hell?
Oh.
And then we're sitting there, and Aiden gets a call from I think it was John Wayne or Reed, and Aiden goes, "Hey, can Akira come?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure, fuck it." And that was our trip to Mexico. And I didn't have a spot originally. I was just going along. I had brought my gear just in case. And I sat in a vehicle for like 20 some hours and went to Mexico on a whim. I mean, I wasn't really paying a whole lot because everything was paid for. But I get there and they're like, "Hey, this one guy's not showing up. You're going to be like semi-main. Do you want to, it's a death match. Are you in?" And I looked at Aiden. Look there. I was like, "Okay, sure, why not?" I was like, "We got tequila, right?" They're like, "Yeah." and so literally, that's just what happened. I just decided, fuck it, I'm here. I'm not going to say no. I'd be stupid to say no. And I just took the opportunity and I ran with it. That's one thing I'm happy about is when I'm given stuff, I don't run away from it. I say, okay, let's do it. Like when Marcus Crane threw me on a razor board at the Southern Sickness Cup on October 19th, I just said, fuck it, we're here, let's do it. This sucks. And then I had to deal with infected cuts for like that week.
Yeah. I think that. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I learned a thing or two. I've been learning a thing or two about self-care, what not to do, what to do. But to be fair, Marcus and I both got out of that match a little bit more cut up. And Marcus, I know you're probably not listening to this, but I hope get better, man. I want you to be back in the ring 2020 if possible.
Yeah, shout out to Marcus Crane. He's one of those guys we see up at Unsanctioned Pro all the time, and he's going through some bad times medically right now. Hope everything's good with him. Wrestling life, it's kind of about saying fuck it and trying stuff. You know what I mean? And so I think that's, we're all kind of standing on the top rope, looking down at the pentagram of light tubes, and we got to jump one way or the other. So I really like deathmatch wrestling as kind of a metaphor for life, to just get in there and fight. Get in there and do it, because no one's going to do it for you. And that's a pretty cool deal. But also, deathmatch wrestling has storytelling, and it has some of the nuanced things that people love about regular pro wrestling. Can you kind of tell me a little bit about how that works and how it might be different than regular wrestling?
It depends, because you can have psychology stories in a wrestling match. I did that with Casanova, where it was the story of big man versus little man. It's really that easy. Then you have like matches where I had with John Wayne or Reed Bentley, where it was I'm kind of trying to rise up to these guys that are my mentors, and it's the student versus the teachers. Can I stand up to them? Can I go to toe to toe with them? And so when John Wayne Murdoch's hitting me in the head of the door, and all of a sudden I'm getting amped up, screaming, and I pick up the same door and I start smacking him in the head with it. The people can get behind that. Like, it's wrestling is not that hard to figure out when in terms of story. Like, the stories don't have to be super complicated, or they can be super complicated. You can have an entire match built around, hey, I don't want to take that thing. Oh, you're gonna take that thing? No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. It's just like a move. The stories of deathmatch is just like any other story of working a limb, but it's weapons. That's how I feel. It's another storytelling tool, another paintbrush in your bucket to to paint with, to make more details with. I mean, it's horrific in ways. I view deathmatch wrestling as like kind of stepping into toes with the horror genre, because it's the horror of that expected pain. It's like watching a Saw movie. You don't like wince when there's blood. You wince at the injury that's about to happen. That's what I cringe at. Like when someone gets like their finger cut off, I grab my finger and I go, ugh, that's fuck. But now here I am, taking metal plates to the chest and just I got DDT'd on dry ice, for God's sakes. I have no room to talk.
We're using dry ice now in death matches. I had not heard that before.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Oh man, that stuff will burn you, man. Be careful. Man, when I was a kid, check this out. This is pretty cool. When I was a kid, my family ran a haunted house, right? So every year, right around the end of October, we would get our shipment of dry ice. And man, I would play with that stuff all the time, and it is dangerous because it will burn you just from touching it. It's a lot of fun though, because you put it in the colored water and it looks like some kind of chemical, or whatever. How are people using it in death matches?
Hey, you don't want to land on this thing. You're gonna land on this thing. Well, I threw you on this thing. Oh my God, it's burning. It's burning. Ask John Wayne Murdoch. He had chemical burns from it.
Jeez. Well, typically you want whatever the weapon or the item that's being used to make some kind of cool noise. That kind of makes it. What?
Because they use like trays of it, or you use like blocks of it, so it mists, and like generally the matches are low lit, so that like you have that mist that's rising, and then when you land on it and you rise up screaming, and you're clutching where the mist is coming off your back. We're gonna assume, oh hey, that probably fucking burns.
Okay, I get it now. That's interesting. Don't do that.
I'm the stupid asshole that goes, hey, drop me on my head on that. What? Oh. Yeah, drop me on my head on that. Please. Wow. I think it'd be cool. John Wayne Murdoch showing off on me in the worst fucking way possible.
Well, man, that is quite an adventure. I will tell you that much. I don't know if that's something I'm interested in doing ever, but
I didn't think I would be here either, to be fair.
I just, but like I said, I just really wanted to have you on to kind of share your story, because I think it's a really cool thing that you've, gone from this kind of like athletic type wrestler to a deathmatch athletic type wrestler. And you found your niche, which is what we're all looking for in life. And I think that's pretty cool, man. How do you feel about all this? And, what are some more thoughts? I mean, you said you're going to German suplex Matt Tremont. What else are you going to do to him?
This is the year that I'm going to become the face of one of the faces of pro wrestling. I'm calling my shot, just like I did with Matt. Whether it is a Nick Gage, whether it's a Mance Warner, I don't, low key, like that's the best part about deathmatch wrestling, is now you believe in me, because I'm willing to do whatever it takes to my body to fuck you up. That's like the deathmatch wrestling has done more for my strong style pro wrestling than my strong style pro wrestling alone was doing for me. That people now are wanting to see me not just do death matches, but also wanting to see me wrestle. And they're wanting to see me beat the shit out of people. This is the year. I'm going to be making money. It's the year that I'm going to get on these bigger shows. Hopefully, this is the year that John Reed and I all get on like MLW. That's a kind of a goal of ours, and we show them what kind of like weird ass combination of Memphis brawl strong style that we are.
That's pretty awesome, man. Well, I hope folks has enjoyed this as much as I have because I think this is a great conversation about some really cool shit that nobody ever talks about, you know. Where can folks follow you on social media and how can they support you like all these other crazy deathmatch fans are?
You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at the Akira Way, the Akira, Akiraway, the Akira Way. Don't wear it out on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. I've got links to my Teespring on there. Please buy a T-shirt, buy anything. I'm trying to get a new vehicle, and anything that comes helps. Changing my look this year too. Adding some new things, so that also will go to gear and new merchandise. And I'm gonna get a pro wrestling tees probably this week too, so you'll probably see some exclusive stuff on there as well. And like, please come to shows. AWR is gonna be announcing one for February 16th. Keep your eyes out for that. I'm generally wrestling the Jeffersonville area to EWE. I would like to get on at Paradigm and do stuff with John and Reed, but that's up to them. And I'm gonna be all over the world, man. Like that, people keep muttering about it. This is the year I'm gonna make it happen. I'm taking over the fucking world.
There you go. You're standing on the top rope and looking down on those dry ice filled light tubes or whatever the fuck, and you're saying fuck it. You're gonna jump right in, man. And that's the kind of lesson to learn here is that you know, if anything out there is worth doing, it's worth doing, you know, full bore. And you know, I appreciate that about you. So that's pretty cool. Let's leave folks with one thing though here. What is the Akira way?
The Akira way is doing shit your way without any regrets in life, without any like setbacks. You have a goal. You are relying on yourself for yourself so that in the end you die a happy motherfucker. It's about living life to the fullest. It's about being true to what you want to do with your life. Don't live life without any fucking regrets. People wanted to originally pigeonhole me as a deathmatch guy, and I'm okay with that. But now people are also saying I'm a strong style guy, and I told people I'm going to show you I can do both because I'm doing things my way. It's not, you don't let other people dictate who you are, what you're going to do.
I like it. That's pretty awesome. Well, folks, you can follow me at Drewsifer Tweets on Twitter. You can follow our show at the Road Home FW. And for me and my guest Akira, thank you so much for listening.